Good morning, everyone. This is Susie Simmons back again with another update from Google and some of the tools that we've used before. This one actually isn't from Google, but it's from the Doctopus Goobric folks. So if you're a Google user, then it probably applies to you. So this was brought to my attention, or an update to Goobric was brought to my attention by one of the middle school teachers. So I wanted to dig into it, show you guys what you can now do within Goobric. It was a huge hit with him, so I wanted to make sure that I got everyone else in our schools informed about the changes too. So let's dig in. You'll notice that on my spreadsheet, I've gone through and set up the Doctopus and the Goobric just like I would normally do last fall if you learned about it from me or whenever you last used it. This update came out shortly after the new year, so it's been less than 2 weeks at this point. Now, once I click on a teacher's assignment, in this case it's a teacher because I've done all these assignments with teachers as my students, and I have her essay up, then I can click on the Goobric icon, the little eyeball. I did have to reauthorize it in order to use the new app because of the changes that I needed to make to permissions. Then you'll notice that down here at the bottom it says Test Drive the Goobric Web App. When I click on that, it's going to open up a new tab using Google Scripts instead. Now, just the general gist here, we have the document along the bottom. We have the rubric with the different sections across the top, which gives me the score for each section. You'll notice that I've been able to give them partial credit as well. I then have the scores over here on the right-hand side and the ability to submit and email the scores to the student. Now, a couple things that have stood out for me. I can now come in here and record a comment. Kathy, you did a really great job on this paper, but I really think you need to work on your conventions more and make sure that your thought processes are more clear. I can then stop it. I can save it into my Google Drive, which will link it into this document for the student to review later, or I can trash it if I decide that I did a really bad job at it. And then I can press play to hear it back. Come in here and record a comment. Kathy, you did a really great job on this paper, but I really think you need to work on your conventions. So you get the general idea. If you're like me, and maybe you are better with your words than with your writing, or maybe you need to make it a little bit clearer for the student. Maybe this student doesn't read as well. Maybe they can listen really well, though. This is an awesome, awesome way to provide feedback to our students then. So you can just click Save into your drive. So it's going to save it into our drive and then share it with Kathy so that way she can get the feedback. Kathy, just a little heads up, you're going to get an email from me. Then once it is done saving and uploading, okay, I'll be honest, I waited a long time to try and get the audio recording to upload. Didn't seem to really go anywhere, so I'm not quite sure how well that's working. If you've used the audio recording and it worked for you, just let me know so that way maybe I can troubleshoot my own system. But it seemed to take a while. Eventually I hit refresh on the page and I'm moving on. So at this point I could hit submit, or I can just click on next, which in this case I'll just move on. And within the same window we get the next essay that we're looking to grade. So under the previous Goobric, we wound up opening up a new tab, a new tab, a new tab, a new tab, and eventually, if you had a really big class, I mean, that's a lot of people, a lot of new tabs. So this is one of the really big hits for the teacher that saw this and sent it to me, is the ability to just keep everything in one tab, click, move on, click, move on. As a little aside, the other piece that I forgot to mention when I was recording this video is something else that the teacher really liked, which is the ability to actually see the document while you're doing the Goobric. Under the previous Goobric, the Goobric was a popover, so you couldn't really see the document while you were working on it. You couldn't actively comment on the paper that easily. Now, that's a thing of the past. You can now navigate in between the paper and the Goobric and the submission all at the same time, all in one window. You'll notice for this one, I'm not going to be able to embed the assignment, the response, the Goobric at the bottom because she actually never turned in this assignment. It's still sitting out there in La La Land. So I'm just on suggestion mode, but it still allows me to give the feedback. So I could continually give her feedback before she submits the paper. Again, the same thing applies. I could do the audio response as well. So if you were a Goobric user and you did not click on that little blue link at the bottom of the pop-up or the Goobric icon, I highly recommend checking it out. The teacher that sent it to me actually said that for the first time in forever, he's actually almost kind of enjoying grading. I proclaim that he's ill. So if you are not enjoying grading, but you use Goobric, check out Goobric if you aren't. Or if you are using Goobric, use the new version. It's really cool. So check it out, let me know what you think, and have a great day.